If you were in a place with screens so big they could touch the sky, or a phone so smart it connected everyone in the world, or technology that went all the way to Mars, if you are in the place that proudly tells these stories and more, then you are here, in the creative capital of Canada.
We carry one of these with us everywhere we go. We use it to remember, to create, to play, to learn, to connect. There are over 3 billion smartphones in pockets around the world, and every single one of them can trace their technology back to Waterloo Region. In 1984, a University of Waterloo student named Mike Lazaridis started a technology company called Research in Motion, with his sights set on eventually developing something called wireless data transmission, a technology that would lead to a revolution in wireless connectivity and change how we communicate with one another forever.
If I wanted to talk to my mom in Calgary, the only way to do that was a long-distance call. It cost me $1 a minute. Computers were connected. But in order for me to send messages or an email from one place to another, I'd have to connect to that phone line, log in, write a message, and then be able to send it. And the other person also needed to be able to have a computer.
In the 1980s, we shared data from computer to computer through cables, a giant interconnection network that allowed one computer to be connected to another computer, and another, and another.
Millions of feet of cables are spreading across the world.
This, of course, would go on to be called the Internet. This is a pager. In the 90s, you might have seen these clipped to the belt of someone walking down the street. It worked kind of like when you get a notification.
But that's all it could do. If you wanted to respond, you had to get a phone.
In 1992, Mike Lazaridis and his team of researchers discovered a way to not only receive messages on a pager, but send them back.
What RIM and Mike Lazaridis realized is that with wireless networks, it would actually be possible for somebody from the palm of their hand to be able to send a message to someone that they might be able to receive in real time, and that person might be able to reply wherever they are in the world without being at their home or their computer, and that significantly changed the way we're able to communicate.
In 1996, they released the RIM Interactive Pager 900, a two-way device that could send and receive messages, and the smartphone era was born. Not so long after that, RIM changed their name to BlackBerry, named after the shape of their iconic buttons.
The two-way pagers where we realized that over data networks, being able to send text messages back and forth was an extremely powerful way to communicate. So the two-way pager was great because I could send messages back and forth, but I couldn't actually call and talk to somebody. The first BlackBerry, the 950, made it possible for people to communicate no matter where they were in the world, sending text messages. That led to the ability to be able to add voice features and create a smartphone, which led to additional features like the ability to be able to take pictures, to add your GPS location, to add maps, and all these facilities that we take for granted now, where really the access to information and location and talking to people is accessible to everyone, no matter where they are at any time.
At one point, BlackBerry became the #1 phone manufacturer in the world, and at its peak, became the most successful company in all of Canada. All because Mike Lazaridis and his team in Waterloo Region found a creative way to send data without the cable.
For anyone with an idea, aspiring to create something with impact beyond what they can imagine, Mike Lazaridis, BlackBerry, and the smartphone are a great example of what's possible right here in Waterloo Region.
You are here, in the creative capital of Canada. Today we're going to do what the RIM team did in the 1990s here in Waterloo Region and reinvent the cell phone. Grab a piece of paper and pens, markers, colored pencils, or whatever you need to design the smartphone of the future. First, decide what technology makes your smartphone smarter. Does it have a personal assistant? Can it do your homework? Next, draw it. What does your phone look like? Is it small? Big? Is it all metal or glass? Or is it a hologram that appears in the air? Ready, set, create!